Hey guys, it's Spaces Sins, and we are back with more Radiant Tale. For a hot second, I was like, what are we playing again? I know what we're playing, but like, it's new, guys! It's only been a couple of hours that we've played so far, so it's exciting. But anyway, we just hit into Chapter 1 at the end of the last part. Like, it transitioned. This is now Chapter 1, so perfect.
Right next to it there, the heart of Kalida, sits a certain city. Kalida, the Scholar City, a place of knowledge founded by Celius, the great spirit of Earth.
Celius? Like Celsius? That's what I think of when I see Celius. Let's think why my brain goes to Celius. Could be Celius, but whatever. Celius, whatever his name is, who knows? We're gonna flip-flop on that one too. They keep throwing fucking names at me. Great spirit of Earth who has a wealth of knowledge in his mind and a passion for research in his heart. He's methodical and a bit of a perfectionist. Is he actually, like, founded by the great spirit of Earth? Does he, like, exist still? You know what I mean? Like, you figure these are, like, King Arthur of the Round Table. It's like, yeah, that man's long dead. You know what I mean? I figured the great spirits were, like, almost like, yes, we worship the goddess of the trees or something, you know? Like, but is he still around?
The lofty sage tower reaches skyward as if to pierce the heavens, surrounded by institutes and research facilities. Kalida's brain.
I like how where we saw the round area, that was like Arthur, and then this is like the little square next to it.
Sounds grand, but it's a den for armchair theorist weirdos and study addicts. Leaves a bad taste in my mouth just talking about it.
I like how we're getting narration from Rady. Again, it's probably Ratty, and the fact that he wasn't part of the circus, but that again makes me always think like Rat's Nest. Like it's saying with a T. For some reason the D's and the T say like Ratty and Ratty. They sound the same. Ratty and Raddy, unless I accentuate, which then sounds forced, but they come out the same, so yeah. So Rady it is. Just easier, guys. And there it was, the tower at Kalida's core. Wow, I'm sorry. We alighted the carriage, and our first destination was the main street, where the tower could be seen looming in the distance. It's still so far away, but it sure packs a punch. The tower is huge!
Well, that's the Sage Tower. They'd say that Celius, who made the city, got overexcited, which is why it's so ridiculously big.
Sounds like a certain dragon that we know, getting a little overexcited about everything.
Apparently they built this street above the surrounding buildings just to show it off.
On clear days, we can even see it faintly from the castle in Arthur. I like how we have to get a fucking glossary term for castle. Castle? Well, I mean, it's not telling you what a castle is, but still. Both the residence of royalty and the center of politics, normal citizens visited often to attend special events or go through official procedures, so it's always busy. It's basically the DMV, but it sounds a little bit more fun. I've heard about it, but ow, it really is that tall, and my neck would be sore if I tried to look up to the very tip. Scaling it seems like an arduous trip. Got into a lift to get up to the street. Obviously there's one inside too. Like, scaling it. I wasn't thinking Ion was like, we're gonna have to walk upstairs. I'm like, sweetie, we're not gonna climb up the outside. This isn't Mission Impossible. What the fuck? He's like, let me get the ropes out. Lift, a mystic tool used to carry people or things up and down. Imagine a fucking phenomenon. Like, imagine having that. Being sarcastic. Ooh. It sounds like an elevator. Well, lift, the British sense, you know. The one in the Sage Tower is a one-of-a-kind Sorry. Ooh. I'm sorry, I'm tired. That yawn came out of nowhere. I was trying to read and it was like, no. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Anyway. The one in Sage Tower is a one-of-a-kind model that has seen countless improvements, making it the fastest lift in existence. Cool. Actually, don't act too excited about it. We're all in the same group, so you'll just be embarrassing me. Kalida, huh? My memories of this place are a lot fainter than I thought. Spacey, is something wrong? It's nothing. I lived here once, so it feels a little strange coming back. But I don't remember much of my childhood, so I was really surprised how tall the tower is. I must say that the atmosphere in this city is rather different from the capital. The passers-by are all quiet and the streets are very straight. When I went up to the capital, I flew over this place, and it's amazing from above. The junctions and houses all have sharp corners like squares. Houses are built like a square! I mean, it's not a stupid thing to say, because you could be like, oh, they're round, the turrets are round, or they're octagonal, or like, they're very pointy like a square. Yeah, but it just sounds so funny, because you're like, I mean, most houses are some kind of a square, or rectangle, or something, you know what I mean, have jut-outs, but they're usually rectangular or square shaped, not like, we don't have rounds and, like, but like, in this world, maybe that's different, but it just sounded so funny for some reason in my brain. Anyway, as if someone drew him with a ruler. Are the buildings, the junctions and houses all have sharp corners? Like, I mean, I get it, because like roads and junctions could be curvy or whatever, but so junctions being sharp and angular, but like houses usually have sharp angles, like points. Are our houses built wibbly wobbly everywhere else? Could you imagine that? You're like obviously houses again have different. Some of them are rectangular. There's jut outs for windows and stuff. But like in general, they are a series of pointed angles, as you would have in a square. To his point, are the houses everywhere else again curvy and blobby? Like what the fuck? It does seem a weird thing to point out.
Well, Celius was a pretty meticulous character. I hear that order and efficiency were the ideals of the city, starting with the plans and all the way through construction.
I get it I think what he's more saying is like the streets are absolutely in a grid and everything is perfectly sized. So like it's not like you have a big house and a little house. It's like everything on the street. There's a very strict structure, sharp angles, everything is precisely sized, like, you know what I mean? Like, oh, how you're right. On the map, it's a perfect square. So, Ginia, what should we do next? Yeah, see, I mean, like that. It's like everything is so angular and perfectly aligned in a perfect grid, and where everything else might have like flowing kind of districts where like this area and then this one where where the lines are haphazard. Like, okay, look at the United States, right? When you look at the map, we're not in a grid. You know what I mean? Like, New York City, streets are in a grid. The borders between states are like wibbly wobbly lines. So that I guess makes sense, but it's just the way he said, like, the houses have corners. Do where you come from houses don't have corners? Do you live in Cape? You might. Never mind. I don't know. Like, of course houses have corners. Like, it just seems weird. But I guess that's not exactly the right literal translation, what he was getting at, but it just comes out funny. We need to prep and have some meetings about the show, so we should look for an inn first. Oh, so should we look for an inn first?
I'm afraid to say there'll be no inns for us. During our travels, we'll be staying in tents, even inside cities.
Huh?
Why? I mean, I get why we'd have to make do with tents between cities and all, but... No buts! It's important to strengthen our bond by living together.
Be honest. You used too much of the budget on other things and ran out of funds for lodging, didn't you?
Hey, sound arguments are underhanded. Don't say sensible things like that.
I love it. That's a rather novel rebuttal. His pout is so funny. Like, I love it because he's so gorgeous, and then you see this pout, and it's so ridiculous. Oh my god. Jinia pouted his lips for a moment before combing up his hair with his fingers.
But don't you worry. Good food, clothing, and shelter are essential to beauty and health. Your talented leader has kept that in mind during his preparations.
And so, we went to the open space that Jinia had reserved beforehand and began setting up our living tents.
Ugh, why do we have to sleep outdoors even after making it to the city?
I'm just gonna say that I'm assuming the tents in this game are like fucking tents in Harry Potter where you walk in and you're like, oh, it's like a fucking house in here. It's not gonna be like an actual camping tent. It could be somewhere in the middle, but it's not gonna be like, it's a tent and I wrote like, there's bugs and like actual camping, you know? If we had that magic tent where you could fit a circus in and you pop it up, I'm assuming these tents are a little more luxurious than standard human camping. Brady was, well, complaining the whole time, but he ended up retracting those gripes immediately. I told you.
Was this seriously a tent? That really did finish itself automatically.
And it's fully furnished, too. It's so spacious. Almost like a room in an inn. See, I told you it was going to be something fucking swanky and nice. This is nicer than my house. Okay, that's not true. My house is pretty okay. My house is fine. You know what I mean? Like, this is nicer than some houses. Look, the fucking thing's even got windows that open. And aren't like a zipper with a little screen panel inside. Taken aback by the pleasant surprise, we merrily did some final arrangements inside the tent while gushing over it. Okay, here's the thing though. Oh, I'm sorry. So, Jinia prepared, spent too much of the budget, got tents for everybody instead. Did he go get a tent for us before he knew we were going to join? Because how do they have an extra tent for us? Just interesting. Come on. I want to know these things. It makes no sense to the plot. It doesn't make a difference, but I'm curious. Did you think about that? Like,
Well, that took no time at all. The mystic tools nowadays are way too advanced.
This is splendid. I think we'll get some good rest on our journey in here.
We might have a much better time in here than at some inns out there, in fact.
Look at how cute our little table in the center. And then we got our little bed over here. Little cushions to sit on. This looks swanky. What the hell is that thing on the left, though? It's like, it's not like, oh, it's a nice swingy seat. Oh my god, is that a hammock for Rady? Doesn't it look like it looks like a tiny floof hammock. You know? Because you can't sit in it, there's a bar in the middle, but it looks like a hammock and it's not big enough for us. Unless it's supposed to be and it's just perspective. You know, they made it weird. But anyway. Jinia seemed pretty haphazard about things, so I was kind of worried. But the preparations he made are much better thought out than I had presumed. Phew. We finished setting up our tent. Look at how cute this is out here. Then we moved over to the common area, which everyone had already finished assembling. Look how cute this is! Sorry for being so late. It's meant to be used by everyone, but I didn't help at all. Yeah, don't worry about that. It didn't take much effort on our part. We're all surprised. A room built itself in an instant without us doing much of anything. The only thing you did was stand by and watch. And there's a kitchen and a shower area over there. Wow, there's even a shower? Well, I mean, I hope so. We're gonna smell real bad real fast. I was prepared to go without one for some time on the road, but... Oh, no, hygiene is important. So happy to hear that.
A delight, isn't it? A day without a shower is a day that's out of the question. I spent a fortune on this. Not just that, but everything looks like it cost a ton. No wonder we're broke.
I mean, if you didn't spend the money on all these tents, you would have had money to go to inns. But to be fair, like, if you go to if you're like, oh, this is our budget for inns, and then you go to one that's way more expensive or whatever, then, you know, you run out of money. But this, you always have some place to stay. It's already paid for once, you know? Out of curiosity, Brady and I are staying in one tent. What's everyone else doing? I'm rooming with Pashalia. I'd share with anyone but the lizard.
And naturally, I have a tent to myself as the leader. Ginny has a lot more luggage than the rest of us, so we kind of had to take up one tent. Oh, Vilio and Pashalia, and then Zafora and Ion, huh? Alright, time to go look and see what your rooms are like.
He said your Y-E-R, so I'm just saying the accent works for him. Alest? Who's Alest? Anyway, I do not mind, but Alest is expected to visit soon, so it would be helpful if you kept it brief. Alest?
Oh, did I forget to tell you? Alest is also involved in this. Technically. We share the same workplace. He's a guy with glasses who always likes to prattle on too much and nags on and...
Who likes to prattle and nag exactly?
Yikes! You're already here, Allie.
And, we finally get a glasses character. Why are you a side character? I have told you many times not to use that nickname, and yikes is uncalled for. The side characters all have to have similar voices, because I don't have that many, but it's okay. I specifically took time out of my busy day to come right on time, you know?
Well, I wouldn't mind if you dragged your feet more.
You'd run away while I stalled. I won't let that happen. Are you two possibly acquainted with each other?
Yep, besties, to put it mildly.
I don't know if Alest liked that idea. He looks a little disgruntled from that. Unfortunately acquainted, childhood friends, and coworkers. No more, possibly less. There's a big gap between their perceptions. I feel like Ginny is the person who's just like, everyone's my best friend and everybody loves me, and everyone's like, no, I could take him or leave him. Preferably leave him. Yeah. I'll take him, I love him. It has been a while, Alest. Alest? It could be Alist, like Alistair, but Alest is what we're going with, because that's what I've said, and now it's stuck in my head. Haven't seen you in the capital, Alest. Greetings, Ion, Vilio. It seems that the others are also in good health. Oh, hello. It's nice to meet you. I'm Spacey.
Righty at your service.
And you two must be the new members. I'm Alest. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Alest, a young man hailed as the right hand of King Begonia. Despite his youth, he's one of the king's closest advisors. 3 years ago, he led the public security forces from the capital and conducted a large-scale purge of Ferris's. We were going with Ferris. I was like, Ferus? I'm like, that's not right. Ferris's underground arena. He holds peerless faith and adoration toward Prince Kalida? Is that where we're going with? Whatever. And whenever he begins to talk about the prince, nobody can hope to stop him. That's a little weird. I'm going to simmer that down. I like the fact that he does the little, glasses thing. The little peace sign glass, holding my glass. Stop it, sir. Allow me to introduce myself properly to you. I'm usually stationed inside the castle, and my work spans across a range of fields. One of my duties is supervising circuits. I happen to be in Kalida at this time, so I came here in person. But in the future, use this relay chalice to make your routine reports, please.
Oh my. Are you sure about leaving such a rare and precious relic in our hands?
Yes, mostly because giving you free reign sounds terrifying. Make sure to take extra care when handling it. I'll be mainly assisting all of you from a distance. If there's any trouble, feel free to contact me at any time. I will. Then let's cut to the chase. I think you're already aware, but allow me to explain your duties once again. I doubt you received a coherent explanation, given that Ginny is your leader. The mission on your shoulders is much more important than you could ever imagine. Our goal was to cultivate blooming flowers which can melt the prince's frozen heart. That meant the prince's very future was in our hands. That's a lot of pressure to put on us, but okay. Though I understood the weight of it, having to face it head-on still made me anxious.
It must be. After all, what we do will directly influence the prince's health.
Exactly! What?
Uh-oh. Here he goes again.
With his hands clenched into a fist, Alest leaned forward, eyes blazing with passion, and began bombarding us with enthusiasm. As you know, obviously, His Highness is beauty incarnate and wise as a sage, an ideal prince with a brilliant future. He's locked in the body of a 7-year-old, basically, so saying his, beauty incarnate is a little fucking weird. Let's simmer it down, sweetie. From birth, he was blessed with talents like no other. He could interact with spirits and cast spells from the time he could crawl. And he did it with every element, even without contracts. Although those of the royal bloodline possess an affinity for all four, by age 5, his talent was said to rival the reigning king's. Can you even imagine how great of a loss it was for the world when he froze his own heart and locked himself away? I was still a youth during that incident and was unable to be by his side. Can't even begin to describe my regret. Why hadn't I been born 5 years sooner? Excuse me, Celeste?
Shush, and just let him talk for now. He goes on forever when it's about the prince. If you interrupt, it's gonna last even longer. 7 hours straight is the record.
Well, I've lost until dawn. Oh, someone save me from this torture. I thought he was a much more proper man than Ginia, but I like the fact that he's a fucking weirdo. Indeed, I have faith. One day His Highness will look at me with a smile on his face. I am sure of it. This guy isn't normal either. That's what we love, though. I love all the weirdos. I got a gaggle of them. Celeste proceeded to rant for an entire hour about how wonderful Prince Colivis was. And the ones who are the key to saving such a magnificent prince are all of you! Remember that, imprint it into your hearts, and keep it in mind at all times. With those words, he finally finished his exuberant speech. Yes, sir! We shall do our best, sir! How many times did he even use the word prince in that speech? I kept count until 100. Wow! Classicalist! He really loves the prince to bits! Vilio, I would advise against saying that, or he may begin giving another sermon. We were dead tired from listening to the long-winded monologue. Finally, let's move to the next topic. Now then, as for the show in the city, it shall be held at Sage Tower. Does that tower even have the space for that? Yes, on the rooftop. Huh? On the rooftop? Of the tower? I've arranged it so that you can occupy the area temporarily. Use it as you wish. On that topic, for your information, that's supposed to be your job, Ginia.
Oh, don't be such a downer, Allie. You like doing this kind of work, don't you?
I only did it in your stead because I happen to have other tasks here in Kalida, but this will be the last and only time.
What? You're so stingy.
Celeste shot an unimpressed look in Ginia's direction before continuing. Now, moving on to the problems occurring here. I believe you've heard that the number of chloris blooming in a city would affect the flora, correct?
Sure did. To make that flora thing bloom, we also need to solve the problems going on here, right?
Exactly. From what we've seen so far, this city does not seem to have any apparent issues. What might the problem here be?
Only thing I can think of is how inexpressive people seem to be, but...
That's the exact problem. Many of the citizens lack strong emotions.
It's not rare for researchers and scholars to, over time, only end up caring about data and numbers.
I see. Chloris blooms from joy, so... If their hearts become detached, they'd not bloom. I see. Wouldn't you get joy when something that you're researching comes out to be true, or your hypothesis or theories or whatever? You'd be like, oh! You don't get joy from that? You're like, I love numbers so much. When you do a math problem, you're like, God, yes, 2 + 2 is 4! And you just get excited. Like, I don't know, I'm just saying. Like, come on, like, you don't get excited in your, like, whatever you're interested, the things that you're interested in or the things that you do. Like, not every job is exciting, but, like, depending on what you do, and I feel like the researchers and scientists, they're doing these because they like it. So, like, when something pans out or when they're doing their research, they should be enjoying it. So, interesting. Anyway. Isn't that normal for intellectuals? If that's their nature, wouldn't it be impossible to change it? Indeed, we could write it off as it being their dispositions, but The researchers in the past made chloris bloom. We're certain that the numbers only plummeted in recent years. Right, since researchers should actually have more curiosity and excitement than anyone else. That's what I was saying. I can't believe so many of them have lost that spark now. She said it in a much more eloquent way, but even in my faded memories, worn down by time, my parents had always smiled happily. We get to see the mouths of our parents! To me, researchers were people who jumped with joy whenever they came across the unknown. So sad.
Spacey.
At any rate, if that does not improve, the flora likely will not bloom. I understand this is a difficult task, but it will save the prince, and by extension, this country. I'm counting on all of you. With that, Aleste left. As for us, we took this opportunity to have a meeting to plan what kind of performance we should do.
Oh, the people of the city lack strong emotions, huh?
That must be... You don't really feel happy or sad, right? I can't imagine what that must be like. Same here. I honestly don't get it either. That means nothing seems fun to them, right? I don't know about that. I don't think that's quite the case, but researchers and scholars should be really excited when they encounter new things. That's how it worked with my parents.
Well, if we can't come up with anything while sitting around talking, how about we explore the city and talk to the residents? Market research, you know? The answer might come crashing into our arms right away.
Like Vilio came crashing into my arms by accident in the prologue? I'm just saying. Yeah, right. If we don't know something, we should try and see it with our own eyes first.
Yep, now you're talking.
I need to look for someone with a talent for water magic too, so that works out.
And that's the plan. I've got stuff to do here, so I'll watch our tents for us.
Does that sound good to you, Zephora, Ian? Make my own plans. If that's your command, I shall comply. Considering what happened in the capital, I was somewhat worried. Was it truly the right move to have everyone split up and act alone? No, actually, I was far more than somewhat worried.
Sounds like a plan. Come on, it'll be fine. Even without these guys, as long as we're on the case, it's all good.
Okay then, I'll see you all in the evening. Good luck! On that cue, we all went our separate ways into the city. Map! It's the map! It's the map! Ooh, look, we can... Oh, that's cute, because you can go see whoever you want to see. Oh, what's to the right? Oh, it's just the air. Oh, cute. Okay, so I think you're supposed to spend time with whoever you want to date, right? Oh no. Common route optional save. Huh. Wait, you don't get to go... That's the common route. Okay, I'm curious because I'm seeing you don't get to choose all of them. So I want to see something. Although the developers, blah, blah, blah. I thought it said to... I thought I read something, and do you remember me reading it to be like, oh, spend time in the thing? The routes in Radiant Tale are very straightforward. The common route offers 5 chapters for you to spend time with the love interest of your choosing before you get to their individual routes. Okay. So we should technically... Interesting. Okay. So each time we do the common route, what we should do is spend time with the love interest of our choosing and not technically follow. Well, I'm confused because the map itself, right? The guide itself is like, says map, do house tent Ginia. Okay, that makes sense. Talk to him. But then it says an optional save. Oh, that's true. The optional save, I think. Hold on. You can play the common route ending at the start. Okay. If this isn't your first route, you can start the game by loading your common route save file. The order which you play this route doesn't affect the story. Feel free to start at any point during your gameplay. And then, okay. So, I guess there are other choices and things that you... Huh. Well, no, wait a minute. Oh, this doesn't matter. Okay, wait a minute. Never mind. Right? Because when we go down... Okay, never mind. Okay, I'm not smart. I'm sorry, I had to look through this and think through this. No, we're going to do it exactly like it says. Because when we go into... I just clicked on Sephora's route, right? When we go in there, if we load the save after we talk to Ginny in the house tent right now, then we'll choose to talk to Zephora. There is an actual, like, common route. It's not like... You know what I'm saying? There's other games where the common route, then all of a sudden, depending on the choices you make, that's what route you go down. That's not what I mean, this is kind of like that, I guess. Although... This... Oh, this we're just spending time... No, wait. This we're spending time with Ginnia, then we go Vilio and Rady. Vilio, Ginnia. Wait, but that's not... And that's the common route. I just want to make sure we're not, like, gonna end up... We can't go down Vilio's route, though. You know what I mean? We can skip the common route. Oh, we can go down his route. Oh, okay. Right, because I'm just, you know what, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, you can't see what I'm doing looking at my guide. I'm just trying to figure this out. You have to clear all the other routes in order to get Vilio's route anyway. Start the game from the very beginning. Loading your common route save file will not work here. Okay. Okay, so he, I think I remember reading that is he's got his own common route. So that's why here we talk to him as much as possible because we're not going to get this. Okay. I just wanted to make sure I'm not fucking shit up. You know what I mean? By but okay. So anyway, we're going to talk to Ginny. And then we'll save and we'll do a common route save. After everyone's scattered into the city... Oh, right. Okay, let's go up to Ginnia first and pass on the request I have for him. My mind made up, I headed toward Ginnia's tent. Found Ginnia in his own tent and decided to cut to the chase. At his, fancy little tent, huh? I like how he's got a whole curtain across it, You can't see what's over there. Does he have a skunk sleeping on his bed? What the fuck is that? Ginnia, there's something I want your help with that'll affect the success of the show. My. And what might that be? You can ask me for anything. I want you to be a love interest in this game. Did it work? No? Because we haven't saved the prince yet? Yeah. In our theater, I think we didn't get enough people because the show wasn't promoted well. That's why, this time, I want to do it properly with flyers and posters. Could you arrange that? Sounds like such a chore. I mean, I knew what I was walking into. But still, he just said he'd be willing to help me with anything, and now this? I've already drafted up the contents and layout. Here. Oh. Huh. When did you make this? Well, if the design's already finished, I'll be able to whip them up in a flash. Okay, I'll get to it right away, mademoiselle. I threw that together in a rush earlier. Phew, I'm so glad I did. Please do. And by the way... Yes? What are you doing? Isn't it obvious? My poor skin and nails aren't in tip-top condition, so I'm giving them treatment. Beauty, you see, isn't built in a day. I see. I can't believe that some part of me is used to Ginnia's antics by now. It's literally been 2 days. I feel like you get used to Ginnia's antics after the first time you meet him. You're like, and alright, you're gonna be full of bullshit, so... You're just used to that crap. So you know what I mean? You have to get used to it fast. You don't have a choice. But I love it. Everyone's investigating the city at the moment, right? I lived in the city for some time, and I've made doubly sure to peruse the reports from the castle. I made doubly sure. He accentuated that. There was a lot of O's in that. So I don't have to run around. Wait, you've lived here before? Kind of, yes. I studied here, but I went back to the capital pretty often, so I shouldn't really call it living here. Huh. In that case, May I ask what you know about this place, Ginia?
Sure thing. Although Allie summed up the report pretty well when he briefed us, so how about I talk about my own experience?
Yes, please.
When I was a student, you might not believe me, but there were researchers that could make chloris bloom all over like popcorn. That being said, even back then they were kind of in the minority. It may not have been as grave as it is now, but there were signs hinting at plummeting chloris bloom rates, and it makes sense now. Outcomes trump all else in the field of research. If yours bear fruit, you can move your lab to a better location. And you get more funding, so you can grab all the good tools, too. The same goes for students. If you receive recognition for your accomplishments, your reputation increases. Useful in the long run. People put in so much effort because of the reward at the end of the road, so it's only normal they'd get tunnel vision, right? Well, personally, I don't think it's worth stressing so much about getting results.
You're right. They got their results, they'd get a payoff. And it's only normal that people would work within the end goal in mind, not the journey. But still didn't think that was what being a researcher was all about. Thank you. I'll do some digging into the matter myself.
Sure, take as long as you need to.
Please don't forget about the flyers.
Oh, don't be so worried. I don't have that bad of a memory.
I certainly hope that's the case. Ginia waved his hand around flippantly, and though I felt a little apprehension, I left the tent area in the end. All right. I'm going to save, but how many save? Oh, we do have a ton. Okay. Because we'll start I don't know how many save files each person has, but you know what? I'm just actually going to save over our first save file that I made. I don't really need to go back to that one for some reason. And then this way, that'll be our common chapter where we come back through when we start. So now we go. No.
Yes.
Because we won't get to see you. Where are you? Oh, you're up there. Okay, we're going to go see Vilio. That's weird. I thought Vilio would be here, so I went to check up on him, but where did he go? I don't know. That doesn't look aligned. Do you see that building in the background? The road doesn't look totally straight. What the shit? I'm expecting harsh grid lines here. You see it? Do you see, like, okay, past the gate? Sure, that goes indented, but then it goes in a little bit, and then the other one comes out, like the road curves a little. What the shit is that? That's not allowed here. Straight, rigid lines. It's like the background artist didn't get the memo on the straight, rigid lines here. I definitely spotted him coming here, but no matter how hard I looked, I couldn't find him. Were my eyes playing tricks on me? Well, Vilio was always light on his feet, so he might have moved on to somewhere else already. Let's go elsewhere, too. I guess we don't get to talk to him in these. I'm not sure what was the point of going to that area, but okay. And we're going to go to Rady, yes. After leaving our tents, I walked around the streets of Kalida with Rady in tow. Are you sure about this, Rady?
Oh, what?
We decided that we'd all split up to do our investigation, right? Knowing you, I thought you'd go drinking or something by your lonesome.
Jeez. How could you think that about me? I'm your chaperone, you know. How could I ever abandon you after seeing that face on you? Even the best booze would taste bitter.
Isn't that obvious? Thanks, Rady. Rady gave me a light, reassuring smack on my leg, and I smiled at him. Then I sucked in a deep breath before turning to face the city before me once again. I still can't recall anything about my life here in the past. I'd lived in Kalida with my parents until I was 6. However, my memories of that period were very hazy, and most of it was an obscure blur. According to Rady and Spiria, how young I'd been and the trauma from losing my parents likely played a big part in that. Do we have some other fucking secrets that's why I don't remember? Maybe there's something else. You know what I mean? I don't remember anything. There's something else on why I've forgotten, and not just because I was 6 and trauma. I thought that I might remember something if I got a chance to see the city, but turned out I was wrong. There's something secret about us. Oh, I didn't actually say that. Wait a minute. Rady's route unveils significant revelations about the heroine's background, as well as the overarching plot. Oh, okay. I'm hoping before Rady's route we find out he's an actual pretty boy. I mean, come on, when do we get that revelation? Anyway.
Spacey.
Sorry, Rady. I'm actually not too dejected. I mean, you kind of figured something when, he's hiding that he is a magical boy from us. But why? Interesting. It's just that I know I used to live here and yet remember so little about it. Bit of a shame, that's all. Those hazy days were supposed to be a part of my identity as well. Yet they felt like the life of a stranger, and that left me feeling despondent. I'm fine, though. My current memories are filled with the wonderful times I shared with you and Spiria, after all.
I really know how to make a Rady happy.
I still remember how, when I was a kid, I had so much trouble trying to hold you in my arms. When I hugged you, my entire vision would be blocked by your fluffy fur and... Huh. Who was that? It was like a quick flash, and I don't remember if it was, it was hard to tell if it was supposed to be young her or whatever, but I'm going to assume it was, like, similar to when he picked us up, where he was in his human form. That was a flash of a memory I think we just got. You couldn't quite see, and I don't think it was the same CG as, like, when he picked us up in his human form, you know what I mean? That we saw, in the last part, I think, or the part before that? Whatever. But I think it was similar,
You okay, dude?
Oh, ignore me. It's nothing. I went silent for a moment, then I tilted my head with curiosity and asked, Hey, Rady, this might be a weird question, but... Oh yeah, is that your only form? Because we just got a flash. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. I only kind of saw her, you know what I mean? And it looked like maybe she was in a nightgown or something like that. But I'm assuming it was Rady. Ooh, did you live here once? Okay. Have you lived in the city as well, Rady?
What? Well, that came out of nowhere.
Like... So I'm wondering, though, if he was with us beforehand. You know what I mean? Because, like, ever since I went and lived with my aunt, whatever. And because that's, I think, when it was revealed that he's been hiding his human form from us, it was like, but what else are you hiding? Is that it? Or is it something else? So... I only started living with you after I came to Liber, or Lieber. Was the thing Lieber? Yeah, Lieber. But... sometimes you sound like an old resident here, so I got curious. That being said, Rady always had the tendency to show off his wealth of trivial knowledge in all kinds of unusual fields. His trivia knowledge, and sorry.
That's because I'm a walking encyclopedia.
Yeah, right. Sorry, ignore all that. Yeah, we probably knew back then. Rady ended that topic, then deftly performed a shrug with his little shoulders.
Well, that's pretty normal for you to not remember your childhood. After all, you were so tiny you could fit on my paw pad.
Wait. I definitely couldn't have been that small. I shook my head, trying to collect myself. Then I sighed once again. Unless, when I was born, I was a tiny floof, because I'm a magical animal, too. Then I could have fit on his paw pad. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing it out there. He's right. This isn't the time to be stuck in the past. I need to focus on the investigation. Excuse me. May I ask you something? Sorry, try someone else. I'm busy.
Hey, listen to this, old man. We're gonna hold a performance soon in this city.
Huh? A performance? Sorry, I'd rather spend that time on my research. More importantly, you're a rare fae, right? Could I take a blood sample?
Whoa, bro. That's one big fat needle. Where did you even store it? Also, dream on, because I refuse.
We moved to the entrance of the Sage Tower and tried to talk to the people who passed by, but everyone came and went from the tower at a brisk pace and nobody indulged us. We'd get ignored, and even if someone paused, they'd just proceed to ask us to cooperate with their research. Getting nowhere.
I mean, research peeps may be a bunch who'd suffer from tunnel vision and all. But this is insane. Rather than calling it a lack of strong emotions, or they don't spare any attention for things that might move them.
How do I put it? Different? Or more that they just don't stop and look around them. I understand that people would have a hard time focusing on other things when they're excited about their work. I recalled my parents inside my hazy memories as I considered the behavior of the researchers. I feel that it's a different case for the people here.
Even Celius would be real disappointed in this.
Celius? That's the great spirit of Earth who built this city, right? You sound almost as if you know him personally.
Well, I guess. Since I'm technically a Fae with an affinity for the Earth element and all.
Huh. Is that how it works? I shrugged at him lightly before turning to look at the entrance again. Is he Celius? For realsy? Look, I'm just throwing out all sorts. We have to make guesses and assumptions and theories and throw out ideas so that when one of them's true, we're like, I knew it, even if I didn't actually know it. You know what I'm saying? Sorry, my whole computer background just refreshed, and I think we're good. We're still recording. Okay, I'm just making sure, because, like, shit is flashing and being bizarre. Everyone who passed by all had stiff expressions, and they seemed completely different from my image of researchers. Spirit had told me a little about them before. Oh my god, these are our parents. Look how fucking adorable they are. Like, stop it. My parents had been research fanatics, but they hadn't been people who'd only focused on one topic. They'd held interest in everything. The novel, the strange, the rare, and the unknown. A pair who'd pounce on anything that caught their interest with no care for public opinion. And they created me. I'm just gonna guess that I was not born from them. There's some magical shit about me, huh? Am I a magical girl? They'd made many discoveries and unusual combinations of fields, and they'd even been highly regarded by the government. In my memories, they'd always happily spoken to me about fun and the marvels of the world. Yeah, they'd always happily spoken to me about fun and the marvels of the world. I loved my parents to bits as well. In the end, that was what caused...
Hey, Spacey.
Oh, yeah?
Squat down for a moment, will ya?
Okay. As I did as he instructed and looked at him. Then Rady stared squarely into my eyes before letting out an abrupt shout.
Party trick! Alest!
I was wondering why he was calling Alest.
My name's Alest, a vassal of the royal family, stand of his highness, and #1 in his fan club. A gentleman with glasses who stares at the prince during my every waking moment. What? Oh, you over there! Join our fan club too! Prince! Prince! Hallelujah! It's the prince!
My god, there's a little chibi of us that's so adorable. Why Alest? Wait, Rady, that was such an underhanded surprise attack. Oh, look, he's evil, and I could see what Otome Kitten meant when they said, like, the chibis and stuff like that are definitely, like, the art is completely different. You know what I mean? You can tell from, like, the CGs to this. But the thing is, like, chibis are always a different art style anyway, so even if someone different drew these kind of things, you can understand why, because it's a different vibe. You know what I mean? So it doesn't make it like, whoa, this is weird, doesn't fit. It's like, it's a chibi version. Of course, it's going to be a little different, so. Leon, oh my god.
Righty. Ha! Calling another man's name. What a naughty little kitten we have here.
This is so cute. It's Leon this time?
Come on, don't just take the money for my tab. Take my heart along with it. I'm sure I owe you some worth that much by now.
I owe you a some, sorry.
think dragons are mysterious creatures? What a shame! I'm a dragon! Oh, I'm an exception, you say? I think the others from the Dragon's Island will be more epic and legendary, I bring bad news, because most dragons are just like me. In other words, there are tons of me on the island. Me here, me there, me everywhere.
I couldn't take it anymore. His little party tricks are cute, though. He looks so cute in this! It looks like he's wearing a dragon costume! And I'm sorry, I didn't tell you guys when it first popped up that it was him in glasses. So you might want to rewind a little bit, because, like, I didn't realize it was actually technically, like, a CG sort of moment. You know what I mean? Because this is the first time we've had one of these, like, chibi CG kind of things. Or chibi moments, whatever they are. So, oh my god, but he looks adorable in a dragon costume. You're just like him. I almost started hallucinating. I was tearing up as I crouched, and Rady let out a shout of triumph.
Way to go, me. I win.
A surprise attack like that is so unfair. I slowly steadied my erratic breathing and looked at Rady, who patted my head with his tiny paws. Adorable.
Well, that's more like it. It's just not right if you don't have a smile on your face.
Rady, he'd noticed my low spirits and tried to cheer me up, and I'd only just realized that. Aw, look, we made a flower bloom. I was wondering, I'm like, if we're so joyously happy, are we going to make a chloris? Yes. A chloris bloomed gently, reacting to my gratitude and joy. It's just amazing because these flowers just, like, pop out of thin air. Could you fucking imagine, like, poof, ah! Flower in your face? The shit. Some things never change, huh? Gingerly, I took the chloris into my hands while recalling some of our fond memories.
'Twas a dance last time.
It was. You tried to learn such complex choreography for some reason, even with your little legs. You tripped over yourself so many times and stepped on your own tail as you tumbled over.
Hey, let me remind you that I did it perfectly when you first twitched your cheek.
You've got me there. I was actually more amused by you, Rady. You were so happy about your success.
Huh. Was I acting that funny? Personally, I was happier about the twitch than pulling off that dance, so I don't actually remember what I did. It only moved for a tiny second, but you know, that made me super happy. It took quite some time after that until you regained your heart, but you weren't a lifeless doll. Your smile was just sleeping inside your heart. That moment was all I needed to have faith, to continue trying to make you laugh.
Rady, he's actually sweet and adorable, and I kind of love him a lot.
That's why I persisted and dug into all kinds of fields, not just dance, and I declare that my diligence rivals the researchers here.
Jeez. It's research, all right, even though the topic is so silly in comparison. Still, thanks, Rady. I gathered him into my arms and gave him a squeeze. I remember that too. Whenever I was sad or dejected, you'd find some way to make me smile, just like this. And a chloris bloomed every time. Oh, sorry, that was him.
And a chloris bloomed every time, right?
It sure did. I was really anxious about going on this journey, but when I'm with you, Rady, I feel like I can do anything.
Sounds about right. Cheering you up is my most important job, after all.
Rady grinned, and I squeezed him once again. I'm very intrigued about his secrets that he's holding about us and all that other stuff. And when do we find out he's a beautiful boy? That night, after all of our investigations, our taste buds were in bliss at dinner, which also served as a debriefing session. It's funny that we even bothered looking for Vilio because you never find him, so but whatever. The meat seared carefully to perfection, matched with a flavorful sauce enhanced with onions. The crunchy fresh salads drizzled with a refreshing homemade dressing. I'll be honest, it's better than my cooking. Unbelievable. Man doesn't seem like someone sensitive to finer details, yet he was able to make such intricate dishes.
This guy could even be a pro chef.
It's really delicious. It looks like we got two clear contenders for cooks in the future. Ion and Spacey it is. Ion's levels above me, but I'll do my best. I can make a really mean honey pancake. That is not true. Still, I still have a lot to learn from you. We exchanged pleasant banter while enjoying our meal. We moved on to formally reporting back about our findings.
So, how did it go? Did you guys find any problems with Kalida?
Yes, truly is the city of scholars, and I admire everyone's dedication to their research, but they only seem to care about numbers and results. In my eyes, entertainment is also noticeably scarce, and they likely would not be interested in a normal performance. Nobody probably willing to pay any mind to matters uninvolved with their research. Oh, nobody's. Sorry, I was like, whatever. I'm like, that didn't make sense. Yeah, nobody's probably going. I agree with everyone. The people in the city are too obsessed with their work. Even so, I don't think that's only because they're researchers. There's more to it. I had trouble putting it into words, and while I wrestled with myself, Brady spoke up without any delay.
Okay, to restate, rather than people having few emotions, it's more like they all got tunnel vision on what's in front of them. But yo, don't you think researchers are meant to be inquisitive peeps with strong curiosities?
Yeah, I think so. Because, well, researchers and scholars are in their current post because they originally wanted to learn more, right? And not that they've always lacked emotions. Or rather, they have forgotten the initial spark of passion. Is that right?
Spot on.
We focus promotion on the fact that we've got Vilio, a dragon, and Pashalia. I think we can get a decent number of spectators.
So it all comes down to our show's contents. We'll keep all that in mind.
If what we perform doesn't move them, the flora won't bloom. It's tough. Okay, let's start with what we can do first. What are your talents? What kind of performance do you want to put on?
I'm planning on doing the address at the start and the end.
Or the addresses at the start and the end, sorry.
As for the rest, well, everyone can decide for themselves.
In my case, I'm going to appear with a boom, and then bam, and they'll go, wow, pretty much. Yeah, he's absolute. Oh my god. Okay. That was so Flounder from Little Mermaid. And we were like, whoa, and they were like, whoa, and then we were like, whoa. So Flounder is your friendly, fishy himbo, in case you wanted that weirdness in your brain. Magic isn't exactly my expertise, so I'll work on something out in another field. I shall follow your instructions. This is probably... No, scratch that. This is definitely not looking good. From the looks of things, even if people came to watch, the flower's not going to budge. Sephora was blunt about his assessment. Brady and I were stunned speechless, and we shared a look.
Oi! This is like the stuff of nightmares, dude. I think we got more pressing issues than the city and the citizens.
When I'd heard about the show back at Liber, it had sounded so fun, but now... My original plan was to decide our general course of action, then have everyone practice on their own for a few days, but now...
The ship's sinking before it's even set sail.
Yeah.
Alrighty, I get it. Guys, we're gonna do a pre-rehearsal tomorrow.
Rehearsal? Sounds good. I think it's going to be easier to come up with plans if we take our costumes and props into consideration, too. Guys, in the next part, we're going to get to see Boyfriend in his clown costume. Don't know what it is. Look, he's gorgeous, but in the clown costume, it's something else, man. So you want us to prep the show tent, right? The site's on top of that tower, isn't it?
Yes, Allie said the procedures are done already, so we can use it whenever. Okay, we got a plan then.
I'm going to assume, because it's 5 chapters in the Commonwealth, there's 1 chapter for each location. So all of chapter 1 is going to be this location. Oh my god, I cannot wait to see everybody in their all their costumes and shit. Guys, I can't. Anyway, we are going to have to wait, though, until the next part. So, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.